Thank you, thank you. Try having a speech after space and rockets and crypto. Oh my God! I mean, you see, the guys don't even want to hear me anymore. Hi, I'm Teik Guan. So let me just move to the next one. I'm from pQCee, and we work on post-quantum cryptography. So we believe quantum computers are coming, maybe coming in 5 or 10 years' time, and we want to make the world ready for quantum. So what exactly is this quantum threat that we're talking about? People talk about it. What exactly it is, I will explain it in a very simple Alice and Bob thing. Alice is sending a message to Bob. Alice is using a digital signature to make sure that that message is received by Bob in a way that it's not modified, that Bob knows it's from Alice, and Bob can prove that it's from Alice. I think that's what we understand from digital signatures. And Alice has a private key to perform that operation. The problem with quantum computers is that when given a powerful enough quantum computer, a hacker or quantum adversary can calculate the private key from the public key. And that's using Shor's algorithm. It's been proven theoretically. It's running in very, very small key sizes, but it breaks existing public key cryptography, including RSA, including Diffie-Hellman, including ECC. So all the ECDSA implementations, assuming that you are still using it in 5 or 10 years' time, become compromised. And this is a bad thing, because we know that blockchains, and today, in the last 2 days, we've been always hearing the word ECDSA. The reality is that blockchains use a lot of ECDSA. Right, you use it it's not just in the transaction signing. There is in the key generation, there is the signing, and there's the roll-ups that we talk about. There is the consensus in proof of stake, where ECDSA or EDDSA or some form of BLS implementation is used, and unfortunately that also breaks. And worst of all, ECDSA specifically is also used in the address of the wallet. So if you are using ECDSA, and we are talking about trying to move away from ECDSA because ECDSA is bad, your wallet address is going to be affected. Now imagine 50 million wallets on Bitcoin, another 100 million on Polygon, and another 200 on BNB chain. All hundreds of millions of wallet addresses have to change during the hard fork. Sounds like a scammer's paradise, because you probably make more money trying to scam than trying to do the actual migration itself. That's the reality. So although we know that the good guys at NIST have come up with good post-quantum safe algorithms like Dilithium, like Sphinx Plus, trying to move from ECDSA to one of these algorithms is a nightmare. It's going to be a hard fork, and it's going to be trying to migrate hundreds of millions of wallets. And that doesn't sound like a good thing. So how do we solve this? Obviously, we throw MPC, we throw zero knowledge at it, everything will be done, right? So that's what we do. Let me explain how it's done. So back to what we are talking about again. Alice and Bob. Alice is sending a message to Bob, and Alice is using ECDSA because she's on Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or Polygon or whichever other chain that is still using ECDSA. How do we solve this problem? Let's go to the pre-image of the key. The pre-image is essentially a secret that hashes to the private key. And the great thing about ECDSA is that almost any key that you have, any secret that you hash will become a key, almost. And we also know that the hashing process, a non-algebraic hashing process, is quantum resistant. That means a quantum attacker can calculate the private key, but cannot find the pre-image of the private key. Okay? And so this is fine. And therefore, all we need to do is just to provide a zero-knowledge proof that when you are signing, you're signing starting from the pre-image of the key. You're not signing from the private key, you're signing from the pre-image of the key. And if someone can provide that zero-knowledge proof, and assuming that zero-knowledge proof is quantum safe, Life is good because Bob knows that this pre-image proof can only come from Alice and not from a quantum adversary. And, so I said throwing zero knowledge at MPC at it. We solve Bitcoin quantum safe. We make practically a lot of blockchains not need to move to any new algorithm. We keep to ECDSA, and the best of all, we don't need to migrate wallet addresses. Okay, so what is this zero knowledge proof we're talking about? And that's MPC-in-the-head. So MPC-in-the-head is slightly different from the MPCs that we have heard over the last 36 hours. MPC-in-the-head is single party, right? There's only one party doing it. We take a secret, we split into n parties. We have an entire circuit that runs the computation, and that single party runs all n computations. We've reached the final result. We put that as a commitment, but we only publish n-1 of the computations. So statistically, if I'm not the genuine person, statistically, if I do not know the actual secret, I have a 1 over 2, 1 over n-1 chance that I'm bad. And if we repeat this many times over, it becomes 2 to the power minus 1 over n-1, and becomes very statistically not possible for me to be someone who doesn't actually know the secret. So that's the underlying premise behind MPC-in-the-head. It's a non-interactive zero-knowledge proof. Great for doing these kinds of circuits. The fastest or the smallest construction is based on KKW, Professor Katz, thank you. And we've got it implemented. And the downside, obviously, is the speed of computation, the size of the proof itself. But at least we've managed to solve Web3 for quantum. At least that's what we think we want to do. So I mentioned again what's happening between the wallet to the blockchain, and we need the pre-image. And the great thing that Satoshi did more than a decade ago is, well, maybe not Satoshi, but the real guy is there, is that we need this hash to get to the private key. And we don't even need to do anything about it because BIP39, BIP32 already exists. And the last process to get to the private key is actually just a SHA-512. It's a HMAC SHA-512 to get from a private secret information into the private key itself. And simply by doing that, we just need to add that yellow color zero knowledge proof, upgrade maybe to a soft fork for the blockchain nodes, and life is good. You don't need a hard fork. You don't need to have a change in wallet address. There's no hard deadlines for migration. And we can simply do a gradual migration. Even someone who has written his seeds, his words, on a piece of paper, kept it in a safe, went to the mountains for 20 years and did some yoga, comes back and still can get back his crypto. That's reality, and that's how we think we can really migrate or transition Web3 into a post-quantum state. Okay, so that's really what we've done. We're going to implement it. Since then, we have implemented the same technology on PDF documents. We've done it for proof of addresses, and our next step is to look for a L1 chain that's willing to walk with us through this journey while we implement it and get one of these chains quantum safe. So very short presentation, I promised you this. So ready for questions.
Do we have questions? I see a hand.
Hi, thanks for the nice talk. So what are the proof sizes currently? And would that have to be included on the blockchain as well? Or?
Well, there are different ways, right? The proof size right now that we have implemented, so we've done a SHA-256 We're implementing on KKW SHA-256 followed by ECDSA P256K1. The proof size is 220 kilobytes each, which is not so great. I mean, performance-wise on a regular laptop is around, I think, 700 milliseconds. Again, not so great, but it's not fully optimized. It's just a implementation that we did.
700 milliseconds sounds fine, I guess, but 200 kilobytes for...
Yeah. So the different architectures that we can do, we can definitely put it on chain. We can do a simple L2 chain that does offloads the proof while allowing the L1 chain to continue to perform. Different architectures that we can do, and that's why we're looking for L1 chain to work with us.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
In your experience, what has the feedback from different blockchains been like in adopting this particular solution? And how does this architecture differ for different blockchains?
So I talked to a few. I need to admit, we didn't go down the blockchain track first. We implemented it for a non-Web3 application. I know you guys would hope lightning strike me. So we implemented it for a PDF signing. So besides blockchains, there's other things in the world that happen. There are hundreds and billions of PDF documents that are digitally signed that will become vulnerable to spoofing if quantum computers come. And so we implemented it for that purpose first. For the specific to blockchains, we started talking to a few OGs. The main feedback I can tell you is that they asked me to open source everything and give it for free. Well, I mean, I guess we're trying to work out the business model here. So I do have my thoughts. We believe that source available is important, but working out the business model is important, and partly why we're looking for a L1 to work with us.
You're looking for a layer 1 to work with you, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll tweet that out. Hopefully some people who attended yesterday and today would be likely interested in partnering on post-quantum. Wait, quantum, not post-quantum, not yet.
Post-quantum means a time when quantum computers are commercially available, and it's a timeline. It's not a technology. It's a timeline. Yeah, yeah.
So first, oh sorry.
Sorry. So what are you doing with people who have private keys who are just private key hashes and not generated?
Well, I don't think there are too many of them. I mean, I guess it's about 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle. Too bad for them, but at least we solve a good part of it. The reality is that they can still migrate to a wallet with the seeds. So it's no one stopping them from doing it. Moving from one wallet to another wallet in a regular way is a very established and safe process, without any deadline. So these guys can still do that process. And once they have moved to a different wallet with the relevant seeds, life is good. And
another question. So how would you see the your migration period? Because at one point, you will stop accepting regular signatures and only accept your system of signatures. It means no?
No. In fact, the regular ECDSA still happens. So so it's a matter of signer first, verifier next, right? A lot of the post-quantum, at least in the post-quantum world, everyone's talking about this Big Bang approach. You either are you're using ECDSA and then you're not using ECDSA, which is a very, very big bang migration. It's very, very painful. In what we are proposing, it is a signer first, then verifier next migration. Signers can start to implement a new wallet, a new wallet plugin, or upgrade their existing wallets that will sign the ECDSA, but on top of that start to generate the proofs. Okay. The verifiers can, whether they verify the proof or not is inconsequential, but only at the point of time post-quantum when the nodes need to verify the proof, then they turn it on.
Makes sense. Thanks.
We have one last question here.
I'm very curious, in your perspective, what should the average person, the average investor, not somebody who is super high profile that might be targeted by a nation state actor or somebody, but the sort of average person with an average amount of assets, how urgently should we be looking at this?
Well, the estimates, are fast and furious and very, very diverse. So the most aggressive estimates are in about 5 years. The working timeline by NIST is between 2030 to 2035. And if you heard Professor Adi Shamir, he said, 2045. So everyone has their own estimate.
So in other words, myself as maybe a crypto investor or somebody right now, I should sort of be cognizant of it, but not necessarily jumping on just yet.
The working timeline is 2030. So a lot of implementations, they expect to start by 2030 and complete by 2035.
So you're trying to lay the foundation for when everybody needs to jump on, but we don't need everybody, Bob and their uncle and so on to jump on just yet.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
There was news recently about China cracking this, right? Does that accelerate the timeline?
I think the reports were a little exaggerated. So there were a lot of assumptions there. The important thing is to read the assumptions, not the conclusion. So
That's a good one.
don't be worried about it yet.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.